Trump's social media feed is wild as ever, and I wanted to show you this video where some fan of his made an edit saying, "Shut the F up and trust Trump," to any of the right-wingers who now criticize him. I'll show you that, and then I'll show you his latest meltdown as well.
Do you remember what it was like when the 2020 election was rigged and stolen? Do you remember all the bullshit stories people told you about how the fraudulent election would be overturned? Do you remember the symbols of tyranny when fences went up around D.C. for Joe Biden's inauguration? Do you remember watching fuel and food prices skyrocket in a matter of months? Do you remember watching our borders being invaded by a virtual army of unidentified criminals? Do you remember watching our nation get systematically destroyed for 4 years by the Joe Biden auto pen administration? Do you remember longing for the days of winning when we had Donald Trump in the White House? Do you remember thinking he was going to die when the bullet aimed at his brain only grazed his ear? Do you remember rejoicing after witnessing the miracle that saved his life? Do you remember celebrating the epic landslide victory in November of 2024? This is what you hoped for. This is what you prayed for. This is what you voted for. So why are you questioning every decision he makes?
Now for podcast listeners, Alex Jones is on screen as an example of someone questioning his every move.
That he's back in office. God didn't save his life so he could make mistakes. He knows what he's doing. Maybe it's time to shut the fuck up and let him cook. This has been a public service announcement paid for by the Dilly Meme team.
So Trump posted that says, "Shut the F up and let him cook," about himself. And obviously there was a lot of misinformation that the election was not stolen. Prices didn't spike because Biden was elected. They spiked because of pandemic conditions and recovery efforts like they did globally. Biden didn't spend 4 years destroying everything. What else? And it is not rational to shut the F up and let him cook. That also is not rational. So I found that interesting, where apparently Trump's getting fed up with even people who were previously his big supporters starting to question, wait, does he really have some master plan here? And that video is trying to tell you he does have a master plan. We all know at this point he doesn't. And if you haven't lost faith in him, especially people, as we've talked a lot about in the show, who made Epstein such a key point for them, who all of a sudden are very silent on it, I do not understand the rationality of still believing Trump has some master plan, even just with that issue alone, seeing the rollout of it. But in general, he's proven himself not to have some 4D chess, brilliant long-term play here. And I don't think you can believe someone who's this childish and petty, like in this next post. Just the quickest break from the video to request that you click the subscribe button. As you know, that's an important way to boost the message that we deliver to a larger audience, which is very important. Helps us out, but it's completely free on your end. Just by clicking that subscribe button, you help support our work. Would be thinking in a 4D chess type of way. Look at this. The Grammy Awards, apparently he was watching last night, are the worst. Virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, that's who he is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the low ratings Academy Awards. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I have never been to Epstein Island nor anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statement, I've never been accused of being there, never even been by the fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get them straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of money. Ask little George Slopanopoulos and others how that all worked out. Also ask CBS. Get ready, Noah. I'm going to have some fun with you. President DJT. I don't know why he says that. That's always so weird. I'm going to have some... I did not do anything wrong with Epstein, but I'm going to have some fun with you. Kind of a strange thing to toss in there. I'm sure he won't end up suing Trevor Noah, but maybe. But again, can one of these people get sued by Trump and take this all the way to trial? Because you'd win, obviously. He literally was telling a joke at a show where he's supposed to tell jokes at. And he didn't even say Trump was at the island. I think he said something like Trump needs Greenland because now something about Epstein, he needs a new island or something like that to hang out at. But again, it was a joke. And this is Trump's one hammer. Sue, or threaten to sue. Plus, yeah, maybe you didn't need to go to Epstein's Island because he was always hanging out at Mar-a-Lago. So you didn't have to go all the way there for that. Some miscellaneous updates you need to hear about real quick. You know how we knew something about UAE, Trump's crypto, he made money with some deal, then they got an AI chips benefit. Now we have more specifics. Senior UAE royal secretly purchased 49% stake in Trump's World Liberty Financial for $500 million 4 days before the inauguration. This is a absolutely mind-bending example of corruption. Spy chic, very chic, bought secret stake in Trump company. $500 million investment for 49% of World Liberty came months before UAE won access to tightly guarded American AI chips. This is like every law we've ever had, every oversight hearing, every inspector general, all of it has been to prevent a tenth of this. The investment was backed by Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, an Abu Dhabi royal who has been pushing the U.S. for access to tightly guarded, if you'll put this up, Jaden, artificial intelligence chips. According to people familiar with the matter, Tahnoon, sometimes referred to as the spy sheikh, is brother to the United Arab Emirates president, the government's national security advisor, as well as the leader of the oil-rich country's largest wealth fund. He oversees a more than $1.3 trillion empire, funded by his personal fortune and state money. So the deal marks something unprecedented in American politics. A foreign government official taking a major ownership stake in an incoming U.S. president's company. So you have this. They invest a bunch of money in Trump's World Liberty Financial 4 days before the inauguration. And then something that wasn't working for them under the Biden administration, which is handing over the AI hardware, which had been largely stymied over fears that the sensitive technology could be diverted to China. They then get Trump to flip that position of the Biden administration, which they really, really wanted. 2 months after the March meeting, the administration committed to giving the tiny Gulf monarchy access to around 500,000 of the most advanced AI chips a year. So, try not to blow up. But here's the Deputy Attorney General going, what about Biden?
I want to ask you about a report breaking in the Wall Street Journal overnight. I want to show the headline right now. It's the headline saying the spy sheik bought secret stake in Trump company, $500 million investment for 49% of World Liberty came months before UAE won access to tightly guarded American AI chips. It's referring to the National Security Advisor to the UAE, Sheikh Tahnoon, and he made this investment just before President Trump was inaugurated. The article goes on to say the deal marks something unprecedented in American politics, a foreign government official taking a major ownership stake in an incoming U.S. president's company. This is the company of President Trump's family. Eric Trump is the president of the company. President Trump is listed as the founder emeritus, though he's not running it directly right now. How do you respond to those who say this is a serious conflict of interest?
I love it when these papers talk about something being unprecedented or never happening before, as if the Biden family and the Biden administration didn't do exactly the same thing and they were just in office. So, look, I saw that article.
Okay. You are a absolutely shameless, insane, delusional, psychotic liar if you ever say something like that. If you ever see someone on the news in your personal life say, well, that's just like what Biden did, they are either clinically insane or a liar. Also love everyone. That's important too. But they're also those things. Think about the logic for a second first. If Todd Blanche were correct, which he's not, then he would be saying Trump is the Trump crime family. because he just said that Trump is now doing, the wording he used was exactly what Biden just did, which Republicans said was criminal. So he would be saying Trump is just as bad of a criminal as Biden because they're doing the exact same thing. But now, remember, Biden never had any stake in any business of Hunter's that made him significant money. Nothing. Didn't happen. There was never a link between any decision Hunter Biden made and a Joe Biden policy. And all the money Hunter Biden made is like a little kid's allowance compared to the money Trump is making. And that was Hunter making like little piggy bank versus Trump's entire real bank of money that he's making off of this. And again, that was Hunter. This would be like Joe Biden having Biden Financial. This would be like Biden having a company called World Liberty Financial. And a UAE leader investing hundreds of millions in Biden's World Liberty Financial, and then Biden giving them super sensitive AI chips that they were really concerned about giving to them for a long time. Now get this. It wasn't Biden, it was Trump. So for you to say this is like what Biden did makes me so angry, because you know that's not true. And you know we've never seen this ability to just hand buckets of cash to the president, not to a kid who could, but to the president. Really for no reason other than being like, hey, be nice to me. And then he'd be nice to you. And then he actually does the thing. It was no secret they wanted the chips. And then he gave it to them. If this were Biden, he would have been impeached by now. And maybe other Democrats would have gotten on board with the impeachment and removed him from office. Unbelievable. What about Joe Biden? Then you have Jake Tapper reporting that Trump is suing the federal government for $10 billion. Billion with a B. And he's suing the IRS for leaking, some official leaked Trump's tax returns, which is how we learned that multiple years he didn't pay like anything in federal income taxes. And so Trump did this, or threatened to do it, with the DOJ based on him being prosecuted. He's now doing it with the IRS, wanting them to give him $10 billion. But if the federal government gives him as a private citizen $10 billion, who's paying for that? We are. So he'd just be taking our taxpayer money and taking it for himself. And while it's true, it's illegal to leak people's private tax information when you work at the IRS, why did it even leak? Because Trump was breaking with a very long line or a very long history of norms that presidential candidates release their tax returns voluntarily to show the public nothing in there suspicious. Trump didn't, so then at least parts of his tax returns were leaked. Then going through, because in this world it's hard to even spend much time on all the different scandals, you have this headline: classified whistleblower complaint about Tulsi Gabbard stalls within her agency. Apparently, a U.S. intelligence official has alleged wrongdoing by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard in a whistleblower complaint that is so highly classified, it has sparked months of wrangling over how to share it with Congress. So we don't know what's in it. A cloak and dagger mystery is swirling around the complaint, which is said to be locked in a safe. Disclosure of its contents could cause grave damage to national security. It also implicates another federal agency beyond Gabbard's. So right now we don't know what it is, but there's some highly classified in a safe behind a guard under a mountain or something, bookshelf that you pull a book and it opens, you go through that door, complaint, something about Tulsi Gabbard wrongdoing that would be damaging to national security. Gabbard says, no. That was her comment, essentially.